Hello, everyone. We are Avenue Jazz, one of the 3 jazz groups from Waukee High School in Waukee, Iowa, and we're really excited to sing for you. Our first tune is All the Things You Are, arranged by Ward Swingle.
You are the promised kiss of springtime that makes the lonely winter seem long. You are the breathless hush of evening that trembles on the brink of a lovely song. You are the angel glow that lights a star. The dearest things I know are what you are. Someday my happy arms will hold you, and someday I'll know that moment divine, when all the things you are mine. Someday my happy arms will hold you, and someday I'll know that moment divine, when all the things you are, the things you are. Bum ba-dum bum bum ba-da-ba-da-ba-dum ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. Are mine.
All right, and our next tune is Big Bad World featuring Ridge Downs on the solo.
Don't you step on a snake. Don't you ride in a plane. Don't you eat a steak. It might kill you. Don't you stay in the sun. Don't you open the door. Don't you have any fun. It will kill you. If you wanna get to the end of the day, before you die, here's what I say. Lay down, stay down, 'cause you can't fall off the floor.
Oh, who's afraid of the big bad world? The big bad world, the big bad world. Who's afraid of the big bad world? Nobody loves a chicken. Who's afraid of the big bad world? The big bad world, the big bad world. Who's afraid of the big bad world? Get some guts and feel no fear. Da-da-da, choo, 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 da-da-da, choo, 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 da-da-da, choo, 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 da-da-da, choo, choo.
Don't you sit on a wall. Don't you take a breath. Don't you answer the call. It might kill you. Don't you catch a cold. Don't you say what you think. Don't you ever get old. It will kill you. If you wanna get to the end of the day, Before you die, here's what I say. Lay down, stay down, 'cause you can't fall off the floor.
Oh, who's afraid of the big bad world? The big bad world, the big bad world. Who's afraid of the big bad world? Nobody loves a chicken. Who's afraid of the big bad world? The big bad world, the big bad world. Who's afraid of the big bad world? Get some guts and feel no fear.
Play it safe, play it safe. Life is truly wonderful, but slippery when wet. Stay inside, stay and hide. Life can give you everything, but don't forget, stay low.
Who's afraid of the big bad world? The big bad world, the big bad world. Who's afraid of the big bad world? Nobody loves a chicken. Who's afraid of the big bad world? The big bad world, the big bad world. Who's afraid of the big bad world? Take it again, take it again, again, take it again. Who's afraid of the big bad world? The big bad world, the big bad world. Who's afraid of the big bad world? Dim, dim, dim. Who's afraid of the big bad world? The big bad world, the big bad world. Who's afraid of the big bad world? Nobody loves a chicken. Who's afraid of the big bad world? The big bad world, the big bad world. Who's afraid of the big bad world? Get some guts and feel no fear. Da da da.
And now we're going to slow it down with our next song, Over the Rainbow, arranged by Kirk Marcy and featuring Maddie Wiegers on the song. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I've heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me. Where troubles melt like lemon drops away beyond the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Somewhere over the rainbow.
tune is written by Stevie Wonder. It is Superstition, and it features Trevor Wiley on the solo.
1, 2, 3, hey! Bop beat cow 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 bop doodly-ow bop cow bop doodly-ow bop bop doodly-ow bop doodly-ow bop. Very superstitious. Writings on the wall. Very superstitious. Letters about to fall. 13 a month old baby. 7 years about the believe in things that you don't understand and you suffer, oh yeah. Superstition ain't the way. Very superstitious. Wash your face and hands. Rid me of the problems. To home that you can. Whoa, whoa, back, good things in the past. When you believe in things that you don't understand and you suffer, oh yeah. What now? Superstition ain't the way. Yeah! Hiya. Nice job, Avenue Jazz. Thank you. Very nice. My name's Jeremy. You might maybe know that. I know some of you. That sounds creepy. I'm gonna get on stage. Hold on. I'm gonna be informal here. It's much easier. Nice job. That was very cool. Great set of music. Especially mad respect. I mean, not, for all these pieces, but for my money's worth, the hardest piece in your set is All the Things You Are. Yeah. You know that. I mean, Ward Swingle, he's a maniac. And he's not for the faint of heart. And so I thought you all did a really great job with that. You have a great group sound. They've been the same group, Amy, since August, since September, more or less. Yeah, that's great. Well, let me get down to some little ticky things. I think for you guys, everything's going to be a little ticky thing. I don't think there's any huge, major concepts. Your dynamics are really good. Your group sound, it's really well blended. Occasionally, I heard some voices stick out, especially on All the Things You Are. When it gets into tempo, it's hard to maintain blend when you're in 8 parts, swinging and especially with all those da 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 da. You know where I'm talking? Like that part in particular, I heard some voices stick out in there.
no biggie. I mean, it's going to happen. All the things you are. So there's the problem with this particular song. It's not Ward Swingle's fault, but the song itself has unnatural syllables. So we have "You Are the Promised Kiss of Springtime," and it's springtime that makes the lonely winter seem long. There's a really awful, thank you. There's an awful issue, which is that the higher notes get the unaccented syllable. But that's something that we as singers have to be aware of, because even though the melody goes up, we have to make sure that the most important thing is, to me, is not the music, which is weird. But the most important thing to me is whether the poetry gets across to the audience. So we got a little bit from you guys. We got "Promised kiss of springtime that makes the lonely winter seem long. You are the breathless hush of evening that trembles on." So just be careful of that. That's one of the issues with this song in particular. I hear solo singers sing that all the time. So don't pop those unimportant syllables out. Okie dokie? Artichoke? Great diphthongs. You guys have really nice diphthongs. Can I say that about you? Does it sound... If somebody who doesn't know what that is would be like, what did he just say? Awful. The last word. Are mine. Ooh la la. That was a great moment that you all created there. What I want to bring to your attention is that when you create great moments, be careful not to let down right after the song. You know that you do that a lot. You let down immediately. And after you create this beautiful thing, let the sound kind of just resonate in the air, because it's still there. You know, on All the Things You Are, and certainly Over the Rainbow. You guys had this great moment right at the end, and then it was kind of you put down the mic, or you changed your focus, like you were done at that point. You're done like 5 or 10 seconds after the song, because hopefully the notes are still somewhere floating in the air if you do it right. Can you dig it? That's a really weird concept, but it really, you could totally have the audience for upwards of half a minute. And I've seen this happen before, where a group finishes their last beautiful chord and they just leave the mic there. And the audience is like, that's a great, if you can get that, if you ever have that happening, milk that for all it's worth. I mean, we're kind of talking about the music. I'm saying that the music actually happens also in the rests, in between phrases, and certainly at the end of a piece. The music is still going on. 2 minutes, thank you. You could create a magical experience for the audience with that one idea. Superstition. 42 to 43. Be careful not to rush. There's a phrase in there in Superstition where it's really big and powerful. It's the dot 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 dot. Right into one of the choruses. Do you know what I'm talking about? Bop 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 ba da bop. Anytime you guys have a huge fill like that, it's like the best thing in the world is if you can just hold back the reins, because it kind of went bop 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 ba da bop ba da ba da 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 bop ba, and it kind of rushed a little bit. Like by and large, your tempo is really good. Your groove is great for this group. Do you work with a metronome? You don't. Wow. I'm surprised. I'm only surprised because their groove is really good for not having worked with a metronome. That's unusual. Like, I would not have expected that answer. I would have thought that you've worked with a metronome. That's not fighting words. I'm just saying, that's actually a compliment. Like, your tempo and your groove is great for not having worked with a metronome. Now, tell Ms. Hall that you need to, 10 minutes or 15 minutes or half an hour with a metronome blaring into a microphone while you guys are doing this. Because the metronome is the rhythmic version of a piano. Do you guys ever use a piano to get pitches? Or if you have a problem spot with your music, do you ever use a piano to just occasionally plunk out some notes? The metronome is the rhythmic version of a piano. That's what's gonna keep you solid. And every musician, especially every instrumentalist I know, and not so many vocalists, use metronomes a lot of the time. For some reason, we as singers don't do it. And that's a huge issue why our groove isn't quite as good as it could be. So that's an easy fix, though. You just turn on a metronome and you're gonna hate life for a little while. But it's after you hate life, then you're gonna start enjoying how much you groove. I'm out of time already. Okay, Avenue Jazz. Well, nice work. I have more comments down here, and you can talk about them or some other time. So thank you so much. That was a great performance. Let's hear it one more time, guys.